a kid that almost didn't graduate from high school, to a kid that didn't graduate from any college, that hardly ever read a book, to own a Starbucks.
Hey guys, and welcome to our podcast, People Bring Profits. We are three small business owners and leaders of our company here at Aspire to Be Hospitality, and we just want to provide you with our opinions and our insights on all things small business.
I want to throw exclusion in there. It is our opinion.
Yes.
So if you agree or don't agree, we don't really care. It's our opinion, right?
Yes.
And we'll throw that disclaimer out there because we think we know what we're talking about. So
we hope we can help, but
yes.
opinion.
Yes.
Yeah. But before we get this thing kicked off, please go and hit that subscribe button. That's so important for our podcast, and it will put us up in your feed for when you go on YouTube or whatever. You can see it and be subscribed to our podcast and know when we have the next episode coming out.
It makes me feel good too every time Justin gives me a report that, hey, we gained 72 subscribers yesterday.
Absolutely.
Like, wow, that's cool. That's like giving 72 guests in my restaurant.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you'll be able to join us as we discuss trends in our industry and share our nuggets with all small business owners that are out there, and just kind of give you our perspective and
our opinion
insight
on things, what's happening in the world, and how we got where we got.
Yeah, in our industry and beyond.
That's
so
right.
I'm pretty excited and pumped up about today's episode. You know,
I'm sure you are.
We got to kind of give a bio of who Chris Olexa was in our first season, and now Justin and I are taxed with really getting to pick your brain and do a deep dive into a Q&A for yourself. And so we prepared a couple of questions.
Thanks to our producers, they came up with this idea, right? They said, hey, let's get a little deeper dive into that. I mean, our past podcast in season 1 was a deep bio of us, right? Like our past, and you really got into our childhood and your Burger King action. But now I guess today is going to be a little bit like questioning.
I want to get in your mind.
Yeah, get in my mind. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary in there sometimes.
Yeah,
as fast as it rolls.
What we've learned is that people are really interested in how you took yourself from a high school graduate to residing over a company that does over $30 million in sales.
I'm glad you said high
cool.
school graduate because it was close.
Yeah,
it was very close.
Three times I've tried, but you made it.
I could laugh at myself, guys. So,
yeah.
But no, I'm excited about today, and what return we're going to be able to do this back for y'all too because they had a great idea. Let's go back again. Next one will be Justin or you. We'll be able to ask you questions too. So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So let's, I don't know. I see a bunch of lists over there. I see a computer over there. I'm kind of nervous.
We're ready to go.
I kind of like to fire at the hip a little bit too. So I want to say I'm sorry if I say something I shouldn't say or what. I don't know, but let's just go.
Yeah. And so I want to Justin, ask two questions in the beginning right off, and then I'll turn it over to you. But because they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But so Chris, you've achieved remarkable success in the franchise world. And despite having little to no formal education, how do you believe your practical experiences has complemented or even surpassed traditional academic learning in this business world?
Yeah. So for somebody that barely graduated high school, I could pick on myself about that. And I have fun with it. And that tried college, no pictures in the books, right? And I want to throw this disclaimer out there too, guys. College is really needed. You know, I do struggle. If it went for, Chat GPT, grammar correct, spell correct, I'd have a lot of troubles. And luckily, my 10-year-olds have always helped me type my emails and spell my words for me.
Yes,
and I make fun of myself, and that's fine. I love it. And the college wasn't there for me financially, or just couldn't make it happen. There was no pictures in the book. So I want to throw this disclaimer out there. If you can go to college, go, because I fight with my kids all the time. Well, you didn't go to college, right? And I was, Mom did, but I didn't, and it's hard. But no, but also too on the other side, guys that can't go, don't let it hold you back. I didn't. I used it, and we say this, Kim, all the time that when I went to high school and I saw my name on the board in the principal's office and it was on the dropout list, and at that point I knew society was dictating who I was, and that was a fire in my belly. That was jet rocket fuel for me, and that was the mindset really at that point. Like, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. So I think in the aspects of that, I didn't need the college education because I had the fire in my belly. And at that point, I really paid attention to what people were doing as leaders and watching how did they become successful and what they're doing in the business. And that's why we got in the franchise business, right? Because it was a little simplified for us. You call it all the time. It gave us the playbook. We just had to follow it and just run a good operations and good financials and that. But on the side of me, just building who I was, is I was blessed to have you behind me, pushing me. And you knew my potential, but you kept pushing me. So everybody needs that positive influencer behind them and helping you. And thank you so much, not only being my beautiful wife, but my motivation and kind of pushing me along, my little boat, what do you call it? My little motor behind my boat.
Yeah.
But, I think watching people do that and just watching successful people and paying attention who's successful and why they're successful, I always watched how they dressed, how they talked, how they handled their employees, my upper leaderships, or people that were above me, that were leaders above me. I would take the goods and bads and see how they, talked to their employees and how they dealt with their employees and how they dealt with problems and issues that rose up in the business. And I thought, I would never handle it that way. And that's when I started kind of taking a mentally check note. Like, if I was the boss, this is how I would do it.
Yeah.
If I was the boss, I would not do it that way, or I would do it that way. And I think I started really doing it. And Kim, I'll say this too, and Justin, I continue to do that. At this point, I continue just because I haven't made it. I haven't made it in life. People ask me, do you feel successful? I'm not going to be successful until I'm at those golden gates, right? And he lets me in. Yeah. That's when it's like, boom, I made it. Yeah. I made it. Thank you, Lord. I've lived a great life. I've had fun. I hope I've touched some people in my life, but that's when I made it. So as I continue to evolve as a husband, as a father, as a business leader, I just want to continue to be better at it. And continue to grow and watch leaders. And man, I'll tell you this, I watch leaders too in the bad too. Like, man, I cannot believe they act that way. Or I cannot believe they talk that way or dress that way or, live a social life that way, kind of, now they live a great business life because they're successful, but I was like, I wouldn't want to work for him. So I learned from people that just kind of continue to watch, Kim. Yeah.
So what I hear you saying is, despite your lack of formal education, you really learn from modeling and visualizing what others in the business have done. Yeah,
like hands-on, kind of paying attention. It's like a lot of people, and I said this a long time ago, Kim, or I said this the other day too. It's like I once met a man that read 100 business books, but never never owned one.
Right.
So that meaning is really, just because you read the book doesn't mean you're great at it. If you're really great at it, it's like, working at it, learning from it, continue to learn from it. So yeah, watching leaders and just watching everybody in life and just trying to keep sharpening my pencil.
But do you think you would have been further along if you would have had that
no
business degree? Or
me, probably not.
Probably not.
No, because I'm not built that way. I thought it would. I'm just not built that way. Yeah. I feel like some people could. 100%. And there's some great successful people with great education, great colleges out there that offer great business education and things. But me, I don't think I would ever be that way because I'm just, me. I'm the one that wants to be more hands-on. I've never really read a book from front to back.
Yeah.
And that's not great, and it's not bad either to me because I don't need that. I don't want that. I don't desire that. I desire to work hard and wear my hands out, wear my brain out, and just wear everything out at the end of the day and just prove to myself that I can do it.
Yeah. Well, it worked for you.
It did.
100%.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Justin,
all right.
you're up.
I'm up. So I'm thinking about like the diary of CEO Chris Olexa.
I told you I never kept a book, so you're going to ask me if I kept a diary.
I am. There's a couple chapters that we need to talk about here.
Okay.
Definitely 2-time cancer survivor, right? And I've had the opportunity to watch you through the second version. We've obviously shared a lot of discussion on it, but really just the way that you led through what's something that I can't relate to. I've had loss due to cancer in my family, but obviously never dealt with it myself. But just as someone who's worked with you professionally, I got to see how strong of a leader you are. And you also had to deal with that on a personal level. Talk to us just about the impact that had on you, your family, and the business.
Yeah, I think that's we'll go back. First off, I want to say something that everybody has their own storms, right? And I have some great friends of mine that are dealing with that right now, and we're not going to mention any names out there, but you're in our prayers, right? And cancer is, man, it's such a bad word. I hate it. I pray every night that they find a cure for that for people. In my walk, Justin, when the day I found out over 16 years ago that I had cancer. I mean, I was young, and I felt young, and I was building my company, building my life. I had 3 great kids, and just life was great at that time for us, and it was just all our goals and our vision was coming true. And then that happened, and I remember the day that I found out that I had follicular lymphoma, and I don't even want to talk about the stage, but it was above and below the diaphragm. I had it all over. And I knew that the walk I was going to have about to go through, and it scared the crap out of me, because when you hear you had cancer, certain stages, levels, whatever, you think you're dying. You think you're dead. I mean, there was one point I was playing in my music, like, Kim, can you play this, this Christmas song?
That's crazy. Yeah.
And there was, but I remember coming home and handing Kim Clara at our age, at that age, and she was a little baby at the time, a young one, and you were crying. Because the doctor had called you, and I just handed you, and I drove away. Because, first thing, you don't want to ever see your wife, your family, see you have that moment, because you got to be strong and tough. And I went to my church, and that's where I felt refuge. I felt God called me there. I don't want to get emotional, but I felt like he called me there. And I sat there, man, I beat on my steering wheel, bah, bah, bah. And that was just another storm that built me. Because I went to that herd mentality again, like, hey, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and to a young family, and me and Kim were building this, and I knew Kim was scared, and I had to be strong for those, because my kids looked at me like, uh-oh, they didn't want to lose their dad. So I knew at that point I had to fake it out, and I did. I faked it out, and in a good point. I mean, I faked myself out, like, hey, I'm not gonna be that, skinny little pasty white bald-headed guy. I made myself eat. I made myself get up. I continued life, and I knew the only way I can get through it is living life normal. And I remember I told Kim every day, come home, don't treat me any different. Yeah. Treat me normal. Don't let's not the kids, let's not just fake them out. And Dad has cancer, but he's dealing with it. It's fine. And there were some tough times me and Kim had. I mean, there were some moments that we went through some pains that I didn't ever expect through the chemo and through the aftershocks of that. But we kind of faked everybody out. But I still coached. I still lived life. I still went out did eat dinner with Kim. We still did events. I mean, we did everything that we had to keep life normal. And I think that's one of the big things in business. I just said, hey, I got to get up and go to work. There's a lot of people counting on me, and I have to be here. And then the second times of cancer, I could go so deep into this. The second time with the bladder issue, same thing happened, shocked and awe, I remember. But the day when I woke up from that table, and I didn't think I was going to have bladder cancer, but Kim was sitting right beside me, and I woke up, and she's, eyes watered, tearing. And
yeah, it was the worst.
She had to be told by herself that it was a cancer, it was a tumor. And
I had to tell you.
Yeah, tell me. The doctor came to her while I was sleeping and said, hey, it was bladder cancer. We removed a tumor. And immediately I knew that, oh, God, here we go again. But then again, I said, oh, God, I know there's a plan. And there's something good going to come about this. But I remember I was rolling up what did I have, Kim? You had
a catheter.
A catheter.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to go, lady, the nurse. I got to go. She said, what is this? It's my daughter's high school first football game. It was the first football of the season, and we drove to the high school that we're playing, Hampshire Fanatic. I had to walk a mile across this rice paddy to get there muddy. And I had this catheter bag on. It's Keith, shout out to my son, one of them, who plays jokes all the time, kept saying a pee bag.
Yeah.
Dad, you look funny. You got a pee bag. But I went to life normal. And I wanted my daughter to know that I was there. She didn't know at the time, I don't think, that it was bladder cancer. But we went back to normal in the company, Justin. I mean, if I would have came, I'm going to go stay home and cry and be, the company would maybe not fell apart, but it would have been kind of unstable. Mm-hmm. And that was the part of it. So sum it up, into the storm, brother. I mean, we heard it up, and y'all heard it up with me. I mean, I had the support of y'all coming in my office. Patrick, hey man, hey Chris, we'll be there for you if you ever need something. Let me know. But we didn't. I don't like talk about it much. You know, I want to kind of keep it under wraps. Everybody know, and I'm keeping it secret. I made some speeches on the calls and say, I'm good. I'm gonna be fine, strong. Let's go. I need y'all's help. And at that time, I even think I said, y'all put me in the middle. Put me in the middle of the herd. Y'all surround me and let's lead this pack, and y'all can.
That was
do
a big moment.
It was. It was a great moment for us. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 times.
Thank you for sharing.
Survivor. Do I get a badge for that?
You should.
I should get like a frequent flyer card or something, like something.
Yeah.
You know,
You definitely
free
should.
pass at Disney World, like fast pass or something.
Yeah. So as we're speaking on or about your health, I'm just curious, and I'm sure the listeners are out there curious because we have such high demands being small business owners.
Do we?
And, you know, you being the CEO of the company, how do you go about your day every day assuring that you take care of yourself first before you take care of the demands of this company? And I see you every day going out to the gym, and you do that. I mean, you set it in your mind, and that's what you're doing every day. And despite that, your chair may need your behind in it, and we need your behind in it.
I can see where this is going. Me and Kim have this conversation a lot.
How do you do it?
Yeah, because you struggle with that.
Turn it on. Oh, this is my pitfall.
I'm going to turn this question on you.
You're going to turn this around.
So yeah, I get where you're coming from, Kim, and yeah, it goes back to the buckets thing, right? How do you become a successful CEO, business owner, father, all that? And I feel like there's a bucket system. And, you know, I've said this before in my past podcasts that you have your spiritual, your family, your wife, your business, and your personal. And you need to put a drop in every bucket if possible every day. If I come to work and do not listen to any Christian music, I'm not having a good day. But this morning I drove here and I jammed from Starbucks all the way here, and I was singing. People passed me up laughing, probably, look at this guy, and I'm singing with my hands in the air. It fills me up, man.
Yeah.
And when I come into and we stay so busy as a couple.
Yeah.
And I just have to come tell you I love you or kiss you. Like I said, I never leave this office without telling you I love you, kiss you bye, because you never know when, right? And the workout thing, Kim, I go back to this. You know, remember when we dated? I mean, my daughter calls me the what does she call me? Like the baby,
adult baby.
An adult baby, because I used to be big, guys. I'll show you a
like
picture. I used to be like 265.
Yeah,
and I played high school football, but I got unhealthy after that, and then I got healthy and tried to get healthy as we built this company, and you were always kind of healthy. And but remember my cancer walk. When I found out I had cancer, I was devastated when I found out what I had to go through, and they told me it's not if, it's when. They told me it's going to come back with a vengeance after 2 years. It's just known to come back. But then my main doctor come in. He retired. Dr. McLaughlin, loved him because he kind of grabbed me and said, wait a minute, you're in good shape. He said, your body's going to respond really good to this treatment because you're in good shape. He said, and that's what chemo is. That's what chemo does. It responds. Some people doesn't respond well to it, and they have to quit it. They have to cancel it and start over or a different kind. And he said, but we're going to give you a really strong, you already studied that kind of chemo. I remember you were ready. You're like, no, we need this one. And that's the one you wanted, and that's the one we got. And he said, you're such in good shape. And that's set in my mind. It's like going to war. If your military's not practiced every day and it's time for war and you're out of shape, you ain't going to win. You know, you got to keep yourself sharp. And I feel like if you keep your mind sharp, your body will stay sharp. Vice versa, if you keep your body in shape, it'll help keep your mind positive because you feel good, you look good, you know, vice versa. And I feel like that's important, but it is hard. I mean, today, I couldn't go work out today because we had some issues here at the office that I need to be here and just because you had some stuff you need to handle too, and you had to leave, and you said, hey, make sure this happens. And there's days that you can't do that, but you got to try to make up for it. So I try to eat healthier for lunch. But I think it's important that you take some time for yourself because actually when I drive and I'm listening to my music or I'm working out, I feel like motivated to come back and tackle things. So, yeah, you can't go leave your office, can't leave your business, can't leave your house for that many hours, just go to be selfish, but you can take 30, 45 minutes to yourself, an hour for yourself. I think it's important. And I could see a difference like in you when you take that time to work out, but you are so headstrong with your business because you are so focused in it. It's hard for you, and it's hard for me sometimes too, but I do feel guilty. But then at the end of the day, I know that I want to be here for a long, long time. Yeah. I want to grow old with you. I want to watch my kids. all this hard work we put in this business, it's important that we're here at the end of it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think that's important because the guilt trip does play a big part in all of our lives. I mean, I'm sure in your life, Justin.
The personal bucket's the hardest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just what we do, but we're so driven by small business and
the
what
success
goes
of
on
it and
here.
to drive. But
Yeah.
we got to understand we're a partner of 1,000 employees, right? And
Yeah.
we're responsible of them. And it's a guilt trip for you not to, like, I can't leave this business. And it's a guilt trip when I do go. Like, should I be there? But I got to do this, you know?
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
Interesting. All right, I got a good one for you. It's an
Justin always got good
election year, news, media, the whole nine. It's all over the place. And last week I saw who I used to watch on Fox News, Tucker Carlson, interview Vladimir Putin, right, the dictator of Russia or whatever his name is. What does that mean as a business owner? How do you watch that? Do you process it? Do you think about it? What does that mean?
Man, I was blown away with that.
Yeah.
Right? And I was excited about that. And as a business owner,
That's very
Justin,
interesting.
I mean, I've always, he took a lot of flack for that.
Yeah.
I mean, from Hillary Clinton dogging him the idiot, whatever she was using those words. How nice is a politician calling somebody an idiot? I mean, you should be held to the highest standards. But you know, I was shocked with that because, man, I want to know what's in his brain. You know, and that's one thing in the past administration. They made jokes about, you know, Trump going over there and seeing Rocket Man. I mean, go see Rocket Man. I want to know what he's thinking. You know, make friends with him. I mean, you're not going to invite him to Christmas, but you still have to have a relationship or an insight to what's going on, especially when it's national security. You know, and you know, you got these big powerhouse countries, China, all these people. I want to know what they're thinking. And let's work a deal. Let's work a business deal. And I look at it like this, too, on the business side. I would love to know what my competitors are doing.
Absolutely.
I want to know. I would love to have some little, like, hey, what's going on over there? What kind of specials y'all running next year? Or, you know, what kind of advertisement you doing? How much you paying for your chicken wings over there, Popeyes? You know?
We do that.
I would love to know that. So I get that bothers the crap out of me, man. To go over there, pick that guy's brain, and then they gave him all kind of crap about the questions, right? You're going to, I mean, that Putin guy, he probably wrote the questions out. I mean, Tucker Carlson couldn't ask whatever he wanted to because I'm sure he probably would have not made it out of there alive. They would have found some reason to put him in prison. But no, I mean, I like the idea of, I want them to be close to our enemies. What do they say? You know, I said it. You'll be, you know, keep your family, friends close, but keep your enemies even closer. I want to know what's going on over there. But one thing in the business side I was super cool to see was the McDonald's, Justin. I don't know if you knew this, and the franchise side, like 30 years ago, they opened the first McDonald's. And how cool was that? We opened a McDonald's there.
There's a Mickey D's in Russia.
In Moscow, and they showed it lines around, just like, hey, do you want to talk about let's be friends? I mean, come on, you're opening McDonald's over there. I mean, they shipped a lot of vodka over here, I'm sure. So now we're shipping some Mickey D's over there. So that's pretty cool. But, you know, in 2022, they closed it down. And an entrepreneur over there bought all their locations and kind of renamed them. And I want to say it's called Tasty It Is, or Tasty I Am, or Tasty something.
Tasty something.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's so, you know, if you watch Tucker Carlson, go watch all his clips. He went into that McDonald's. He ordered like a large fry, a large soda, 2 cheeseburgers, and a chocolate cake.
Yeah.
And then he went outside and tasted it. First off, I want to say it was $7.
So you paid attention to that.
100% business side.
Yeah.
How much are they paying? Because you think over at Russia, they're paying a lot of money.
Yeah,
But,
or
man,
at least double what we're paying.
Yeah, but no, $7. And he tasted, he said, these fries are great. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that they're not allowed to use over there, like chemicals and stuff. And he said, these are
Natural
great.
flavorings.
And then the burger, he said, it's unbelievable. You know, the chocolate cake looked great. And it was cool, though, because I was like, man, that's the insight that I didn't get to see. Then you go watch all the other clips. You know, Starbucks. They shut down all the Starbucks. They made them shut down because all these, you know, they put all these tariffs on stuff, and, you know, they stopped everything that can be shipped over there with everything that's going on with the war. But so Starbucks was closed down, and now it's opened up as Stars, and they use the same logo.
That's what's wild.
That's what's crazy, because what is Russia going to do? You know, go use Starbucks. I can use whatever I want to. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'll bomb you.
Yeah.
You know? So it's crazy to me. But then the last thing is business. They went to a grocery store, and Tucker Carlson, let's go to this grocery, and it was a beautiful grocery store. I mean, the streets were nice. I mean, it was cool, and I'm thinking, Russia's in a war. They're saying they're going broke. They're saying they're putting all this stuff on them. They're not letting them export their oil, all kind of stuff that the media is telling us and our federal government's telling us. Well, they went to the grocery store, and he shopped for like a week's worth of food for 4 days. He bread, cereals, ho-hos, all kind of stuff. Then they had Gillette razors. They had Snicker bars, like M&Ms. I'm like, how do they
can't have McDonald's, but you can have Snickers.
But they're not supposed to get that
M&Ms.
stuff. We're supposed to be mean to them.
Yeah.
We're supposed, because you're bombing Ukraine, so we're not doing anything for you. No, but we're going to still send you Snickers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy to me. He did all the shopping. Guess how much his bill was?
It's $500 here at Walmart.
$100.
Oh, every bit.
$107. His buggy was full. How does that happen? I don't know. It's not my question. I mean, I know why it happens, right? I know. And
But that's what you're paying attention to.
I'm paying attention to the
interesting.
business side,
Yeah.
the franchise side, how much it costs to do that, and I want to know what they're doing over there.
Cool.
I want to know what he's saying.
Yeah.
So you did see it. Awesome.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yep.
Good job.
I loved it, though. It's fun.
Yeah, so I have to kind of piggyback off of that one.
Yeah.
So with all this crazy information coming at us that we're being fed on the national media, such as California wanting to hike up their minimum
50.
wage to $50. Yes, and all of these tax increases that Biden wants to push down to small business owners for corporate tax of 28%. How do you keep going? Why? And do you just consider, man, this is so deep, dreary, ugly, depressing. Let's just sell it all and live off
What we
the
had.
sell.
Yeah. Me and you talked about the other day at Disney. And it is hard, Kim. Every day it feels like a new day comes. That it's like, I say this walking into the fog. It's like there's all this hard work that I did, the American dream that we did. I want to take that back. I'm sorry. It's not it's we as a company did. I mean, we started a Quiznos with me first, you second, and then had hired our first employee to 1,000 employees. I don't even know what our payroll is. I don't even know what our corporate payroll is. It's unbelievable, I'm sure. And that was the American dream. And that's the dream that I was born with. That's the desire I was born with. And that's what kids were born with. That's why you didn't need a college education. Because if you really worked hard and wanted it hard enough and put in the hours, you can have it. Anybody can. And you still can, but it's just way harder because of those reasons. $50 an hour. There's nobody that really works for us that makes minimum wage, besides a 16-year-old person that might be coming in, or a brand new 17-year-old that's going to be a hostess that has to stand up there and smile and say hello. And they don't make that much longer because they get a bump up pretty quick when they prove that they're going to show up to work and be nice to our people. And I don't understand that. $50, I don't know how you pay for that. People, they don't understand this, and some people don't. Your burger now there is going to be crazy. And that's why inflation's happening so much, because our payrolls have increased, and business has not. Because people, the more you pay in that, you're increasing in pricing, and now the transactions are going down because people can't go eat out as much because everything's costing more. Everybody complains, hey, it can cost more. Well, yeah, you pay everybody more, it's going to cost more. Everybody has to make. People think small business owners are just making crazy amounts of money. They think we make like 40 cents on every dollar.
Yeah.
No, the true small business owner really, I did this look into a while, makes about 7% at the end of the day.
Yeah.
7% at the end of the day, every small business. Now, I'm not talking about AT&T, ExxonMobil. Those are, we're all stupid here if we think those aren't corporate driven by the government.
Yeah.
They got their hands in it somehow.
Right.
But small business owners, shout out to all you guys. Keep working hard, keep fighting, because it's more than just the money, it's a dream. And that's what makes me keep doing what I want to do, Kim. It's just the dream and the passion of changing people's lives and building a culture and proving to my kids and every young person. Justin did a study the other day and told me that on our YouTube channel, average age is 25 to 37 or whatever it is.
Yeah, yep.
Somewhere close to that. And to me, that's great because that's young people out there really dreaming and wanting harder, to work hard. And yeah, Kim, I want to give up every day. Because I feel like every day I get up, I get punched in the face with some kind of regulation that I can't control. But the profits that we make, I mean, we're not buying crazy stuff. We're investing in new stores. You got them on our chart now. We're trying to open 2 new stores, and we're fighting interest rates. We're fighting the cost of construction. Sales aren't going up that high as what everything else is. I just hope there's smarter people that get in the federal government one day and realize how important small business is to the world and how many people we employ and how they really need to pay attention to what's happening to us. Every day I get up and see a social post where another small business is closing.
Yeah.
And I never used to see that 3 years ago.
I know. It almost makes you think, is the American dream gone? Is that what we're facing? Because I can't see the same 2 kids that started at Quiznos starting in today's world.
No.
With interest rates at 9% and what everyone's facing to get into a small business with all the regulations and all the increased taxes. I just can't see them having the same opportunities we did. Even though we say this is a free world and a free country, I don't know that they could, going back to our 20-year-old selves, I don't know that we would have the same opportunities, to be honest.
I said I got emotional with my cancer. I'm going to get more emotional with that because that's a damn shame.
Yeah.
And you're true, Kim. I don't know if somebody if somebody at our age, at 26, decided to roll the dice and go down there and save every penny they can to open their first business, whatever it is, and make it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's like the cards are stacked against you. Back then, it was how good you were negotiating the lease.
Yeah.
How good are you about hiring people, running good food cost, and paying attention to your business and working hard and being there. Like, be there. Don't be an absentee. You can't be an absentee dad, and you definitely can't be an absentee owner.
Yep.
If not, bad stuff's going to happen to everybody. So it's sad.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it is almost impossible now. It's hard for us, and look at the experience that we have, and look at the clout we have. Look at those brands on that wall. I mean, look at the sales volume we have, and it gets harder and harder every day. But I don't want to give up on the America dream.
No, me neither.
I don't want to.
But
That's
it
what
is just sad.
I want to do something that changes the world.
Yeah.
and I
Well, that's the whole reason for this podcast, right? That's the whole reason we sit on these microphones, to encourage. And I know I brought us down for a minute, but really we're here to encourage and not allow that dream to slip by.
Don't let it.
Don't let it. We're given the playbooks, the things to pay attention to, the hardships, the losses, the what you need to do if you decide to take that leap. We want you to take the leap, but do it responsibly, and hopefully there's some nuggets we can give you to put those cards back in your court, because you made a great comment. The cards are stacked against you right now. That doesn't mean don't do it, and there's not some plays to run.
Yeah, it means it's just going to be a little bit different, your different game plan, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're going against a bigger monster than just yourself, because that's what it's starting business is, really just yourself, how challenging you going to be to yourself. So, but no, I don't think it's over. I do think about selling, I have, but I don't think we will, because I don't know, we're built differently, Kilmer. Let's end on a positive note. That's just who we are.
Oh, yeah.
We see challenges, we run to them. That's the herd mentality. And I don't know. You ran for school board. We talk about that all the time to make a difference, and you struggle with that because it's political, right? But these days, these politicians, I don't know. I don't even want to go there. It's just I don't know who to trust, who to believe, who to watch, what news is lying to me, who's giving me this fake information, all what. They're all ran by corporate greed. And when you say corporate greed, it's not just the corporate, it's about money and power. That's what they're ran by. Until this world gets figured out and understands who's already rich and who's not rich. If you're already rich and you're running for a position, I don't know, are you trying to get richer, or what's the purpose? If you're poor and you're running a position, are you just trying to get money in your pockets from these corporate people? And watch how they vote. Pay attention to those things. Pay attention to what they're voting for, So, but the American dream, we're going to keep hoping it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, any more?
I've got one more for you. Yeah, so you're coming up, you've got 25 plus years experience. You're coming close to 100,000 shifts work. I want to hear about your best shift as a manager and your best shift as a CEO?
Man.
Out of all of those
So we're going to end a
shifts?
good positive
You're
note
like,
here.
Yeah.
So you did it some years. I'm not that old. But hey,
shifts, not
let me think about that. So I go back to this, and this is a highlight for me. Real quickly, open Beaumont Buffaloes, manage it every day. Open Lake Charles. The day we opened, I was at a corporate event I had to go to. I was on the fact board, so I was required to go to this conference. The first day we opened, Kim calls me like freaking out. There was a old flip phone, like, hello? She goes, you need to get back. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, it's so busy, it's a line out the door. Well, is Andreas, and at that time I had a partner, is Raj there? He's like, yeah, but they don't know what, Andreas is in the kitchen, can't do that. Raj just walking around. I don't know, I need some help. And I was like, okay, I'll come back. And I flew back the next morning, and I got there a little bit after lunch, and I remember walking in, and Kim was there like, help. And there was a line in the kitchen was super long. And that was the day we did the paper tickets. And Andreas said, I'm so glad you're here. I said, get out front, I'll run the kitchen. And I used to love those days. They called it Superman. You know, I used to say, okay, everybody stop. Don't do anything unless I tell you, because you're the quarterback, right? And you're calling the play right there. And, man, it took me a couple hours to get all those tickets down. And then I walk out, I was like, got me a Coke. And said, hey, Kim, it's good. I'm so glad you're back. Me as well comfortable. Then 30 minutes later, Chris, I need you back in the kitchen. Superman days. Those were the awesome. And there was many a days that had to happen in our stores. But that I remember because Kim was like freaking out. Because back then, I mean, our Beaumont didn't do that. It was doing okay because it just opened. And then, but Lake Charles just
So this changed your company.
It changed.
Everything.
It was
Yeah,
life
for
changing.
sure.
Kim prayed. Every business we opened, Kim prays over it. She prayed extra on that one.
That was the biggie.
And then, and I still love those. Y'all don't let me go in the kitchen. First off, I don't know how to work the KD units. I'm used to the paper stuff. I'm not an IT guy, so I hit them too much or back up. I don't know. So now I just clean tables and open the doors. So it's pretty cool. But corporate wise, CEO. I want to go back to this one. It was so special to me. The day we drove or went to Starbucks in Houston, and we opened our Starbucks for the first day, the grand opening. Y'all were all there. I was just like, I mean, Kim laughed at it because I kept taking pictures and pictures.
Yeah.
To a kid that almost didn't graduate from high school, to a kid that didn't graduate from any college, that hardly ever read a book, to own a Starbucks, to own that brand. I mean, me and Kim had that Quiznos in the first quiz, and that Starbucks opened out. I was like, how do you get that? That drive-thru was always busy. I'm like, I want that. And now I got that by hard work and the American dream, right? And just to own that iconic brand, but not only for that, for myself, but for this company.
Yeah.
Aspire to be. I didn't tell you all this. We just hired a new business coach.
Yeah.
And he came in for like his onboarding and thing. Super excited to get this kid. Man, he's going to oversee our Houston market and all that. Tons of experience, great background and what. And I don't know if I told you this, Kim, over lunch. I should have told you this. And, he was watching the Starbucks on my cameras, and he said, I just will say that. And I told him how important Starbucks is to us, and all the brands are to us important. He goes, you know how cool it is? He said, I was telling people who I'm working for, he said, I'm being a business coach over Buffalo Wild Wings and Starbucks. And he said, they were like, Starbucks?
Yeah.
How did y'all get a Starbucks? So to me, as a CEO, Justin, I feel like it puts our brand out there, aspire to be. And we get asked all the time. People are like, even banks do it. How'd y'all get a Starbucks? Because not everybody is able to get into one, so it's a blessing for me. But for me and Kim, for where we came from, go back and look at our past. You'll be blown away too. And our company, Aspire to Be, owns a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Coolest
Wonderful.
thing ever.
That's
Coolest.
awesome.
I'm still excited. I think I'm gonna go drive over there and give me a Starbucks right now from my own Starbucks, because I
Let's
still
go.
take pictures with those
Let's
machines.
go.
What do we
Yeah.
call those machines? The
They're like
Maser-
Lamborghinis.
Yeah, they're
or
like the Maseratis of
Maseratis.
coffee
Yeah.
machines. Y'all seen those things when
It's
you go in there?
crazy.
Man, those things are expensive.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they
are.
And I make sure we polish ours. Go to a
Yes.
corporate Starbucks; they're not as polished like ours. We polish those things with chrome, like a Lamborghini or a Maserati.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Good
stuff.
question. Good question. Yep.
Yeah. So that kind of concludes all our
I had
questions
fun here, guys.
today.
I can't wait to pay y'all back.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm nervous about that. but,
Yeah, I'm definitely going to ask you a political question and a workout question.
Nice.
And Justin, I'm definitely going to ask you some chat GTP questions
Okay,
and some
let's
stuff.
get it.
Yeah. So, but thank you guys. Appreciate it. It was fun today.
Yeah, and I know our listeners out there really enjoyed getting a deeper dive into your brain. And I see people ask you all the time, hey, can we have coffee? I want to pick your brain. So just thank you for answering these questions really raw and true. and helping those out there that you touch. We really appreciate your leadership and what you do here at Aspire to Be. So, hey, guys, if you have not subscribed to our podcast, go
Please
right
do.
now and hit that subscribe button. And if you like this episode, hit that thumbs up and let us know. And we really appreciate you.
Send some comments, too, if you have any more questions for any of us. 'Cause we can, especially we'll be interviewing these two here in a couple weeks.
Yep.
If you send a question, I'll ask one of them. And if you have a question for me, make a comment, I'll answer it.
That's
you
right.
know? So,
That's right.
Yep.
So, so God bless and
Yep.
peace out.
Yeah, thank you,
right.
guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.